Pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm here this evening to present my action research presentation on how does reading comprehension affect both teachers and students. Within this presentation, our objectives that we would be looking at would be our purpose, significance, the theory of action, our school context, our action research model, our action plan, our findings, and our conclusion. Good evening once again. My name is Precilla, and I'm here to deliver my presentation on how does reading comprehension affect both students and teachers. As an educator or even a leader in your school, have you ever wondered why students just don't understand what it is they're doing? Or have you ever wondered what it is you could be possibly doing wrong? Within our action research presentation, we're actually going to figure out and also come up with strategies of how it is we can boost and improve our reading comprehension ability within our students. Our purpose for this study was to explore and understand the perspectives of how teachers view their teaching of reading comprehension. It's also to investigate how the lack of reading comprehension skills contributes to the issues in comprehending and answering questions for our primary school students. Edmund Burke once said, "Reading without reflecting is like eating without digesting." This statement says a lot with just a few words. The significance of our action research is to provide information. We would be providing information to teachers. We would also be providing information to our leader or principal so that she can then implement interventions within her establishment. The implementation process would be towards the teachers so that they can improve not only their teaching skills, but the success rate of their students. It will also improve our academic and professional lives, not only in the primary school, but within any academic venture the students would have leaving the primary school at Standard 5. We're starting off with our theory of action. Within our theory of action, we are going to be stating or talking about our reading strategies and how our reading strategies can assist in the development of reading comprehension or students being able to read to understand. Our first strategy is predicting. Predicting is where it is we can use titles of books, pictures within a book, or we can even use book covers. When it is we predict, we're asking ourselves, what is this about? What do I think, or what do you think the story is about, or what it is the question is asking you? Visualizing. Visualizing is where it is we read a passage, we read a sentence, we read a story, and as you're seeing in the picture here, it shows where it is what it is they read. They are now seeing of a image of what it is they're reading. This can be done through drawings, think, paint, and share, and it can also be done through show and tell within our classrooms. Our next strategy is making connections. Making connections shows where children make personal connections with the text by using their schema or previous knowledge. That previous knowledge allows students to connect with what it is they are reading to something that has happened to them. This is known as text to self. They can also make connections from what they are reading to another book that they have read that may have a similar character, it may have a similar storyline, it may also have a similar problem that went on within that storybook. This is known as text-to-text connections. Then also we have text-to-word connections. What student or what child does not like to watch TV? This can be done through reading a book and then probably seeing a movie or even a cartoon that expresses the same storyline of the book. And most of our books now have a movie that is detailed or that goes with it. Then we have summarizing. Summarizing is exactly what it states. Long story short. We can use summary maps to summarize stories. We can also ask students exactly what this story was about. Tell me within one sentence what this story was about. Then we have questioning. From this picture, we all have this I don't know moment in our class. This I don't know moment it can be with math, it can be with science, it can be with grammar, it can even be with reading. This I don't know moment shows confusion, shows where it is students just don't understand. However, with the correct questioning skills, we can then have that aha moment within students. We can do this through teacher to student questioning, student to teacher questioning, where students would be able to ask why or Miss, how come this didn't happen? We can also have student to student questioning, where they then ask their peers in the classroom, what do you think, or why do you think this happened? And last but not least, we have our inferring. I'm going to let this simple comic strip show exactly what inferring means. So Garfield's owner in the first picture states, I hurt my back. Garfield just not bothered, big whoop. Second picture states, and my neck. Still, Garfield is uninterested as he says, whatever. However, we notice that Garfield's reaction changes by the third picture. This is only because it states, and the finger that operates the can opener. Garfield notices at this point in time, not being able to operate the can opener means no food. He automatically then notices, I need to call a medic. So hence the think box here, which states medic. So inferring is exactly what is stated here. It shows where it is you can make connections even though it's not stated within the text. It's the underlying meaning of what is happening in the story. Our school context. Blossom Girls Primary School is located in the Port of Spain district. It consists of approximately 400 students and a teaching staff of 18. The issue at Blossom Girls is that students can read, however, they lack understanding. Here we have our action research model, or our Ferrance model. Within this model, you can see here that we start with identifying the problem, gathering data, interpreting data, acting on evidence, evaluating the results, and then asking ourselves the next steps or what's next. Within here, these two pictures represent our PLCs. PLC basically stands for Professional Learning Community. Within this professional learning community, we will be stating, pause that. Within our PLC or Professional Learning Community meetings, what it is we did was actually brainstorm and discuss what exactly was the problem at Blossom Girls Primary School. Within our PLC meetings, we actually had fun interacting with each other, where it is we actually spoke about the issues, the many issues that came up at Blossom Girls Primary School. When it is we spoke, we eventually came down to reading comprehension and how it affects the students at our school. My PLC consisted of 5 active staff members, 1 ex or retired staff member, and a parent from the Standard 4 cohort. This diagram here shows exactly when it is we started collecting data. This data that we collected shows where it is the student sample. This was done within a 3-day period, and it shows where it is the students had to read a simple passage and answer questions. From this, we also asked teachers questions. The teachers had a little variance in their answers, where some teachers believe that reading comprehension is reading. Some believe that reading comprehension is comprehension. However, reading comprehension is the ability to read to understand what is given in an actual text. We now reach to our action plan. Within our action plan, we have a period where it is we will be training our teachers. A manual will be created by us, the PLC, to train our teachers with. This training period will be a matter of 3 months, where it is we will actually have the entire program run for 3 months within the school or one term. The training for teachers, the first training will be 2 days long, where it is we will go in depth of the manual, showing teachers how to use their graphic organizers, showing them how to get students to visualize, showing them how it is they can actually get students to do what it is that the strategies state for them to do. After this 2-day period, we will send teachers to the classroom, and then we will meet mid-term. At this mid-term venture, what will happen is that we now discuss the success rate. If it is our plan is working, if it is what it is we are doing makes sense, and if it's actually helping the teachers. Then we have our teaching, we will be teaching each strategy in detail using age-appropriate books. Now, when it is we start teaching the strategies, the first strategy that we will be teaching is predicting. When it is we do predicting, we will be using this from infants all the way to standard 5. Again, using age-appropriate books. Predicting simply means that we're asking students what they think the story is about, what they think the passage is going to be about, what do they understand from the questions that we are asking them. Predicting would allow students to state what they believe, and then after reading the text, we then ask them questions of what it is they read, if it was true, if it was not true. Predicting only works if it is they do it with the text and ask the questions of what you predicted, is it actually what happened? Then we go into visualizing. Now, we ask ourselves, drawing. Is drawing fun? Is drawing a way of teaching students? Yes, it's actually a way of teaching students to understand what it is they read. You can use a simple drawing to show students what it is they have read within a text. Drawing can be done from first year all the way to standard 5. Drawing allows the students to read what it is they have read, be it a title, be it a sentence, be it a passage, even be it a paragraph, depending on the level that they are in. And they can state exactly or show or represent what it is they stated through that drawing. So for example, they read in a book, the girl is in a beautiful pink dress. That might be a second year book that states that. The students read that and they understand that they have to draw a girl and they have to put the girl in a pink dress. Hence the reason how visualizing works as a strategy in getting students to understand what it is they're reading. Then we have making connections. From my memory, what it is I remember firstly is first year. First year has the text of the red hen. The red hen shows a chicken. It also has a different storyline with it. But making connections, text to self, the student can then say, Miss, I have a chicken within my yard. Or Miss, my granny has chickens. So they already have that connection of what a chicken looks like, what a chicken may do, and also what sound a chicken makes. Going forward, they may read a storybook that has another storybook that has a chicken in it, and they are then able to make a connection. Miss, you remember when we read Red Hen? We now can make a connection to the new book that we are reading, and that will state text-to-text connections. We also have text-to-world connections, where there's a movie that is called Chicken Little. The students can then watch the movie Chicken Little and make a connection because it's the same chicken. Then we have our questioning strategy. Our questioning strategy can be done with the class within the 3-month period, asking them appropriate questions, starting them from simple questions or factual questions, and then going into inferential questions where they have to predict an outcome, which ties in their prediction from what they learned before. Summarizing is where it is they summarize or they shorten what they have read into probably a paragraph which shows their understanding. This can be done by them retelling the story. They can retell it by presenting to the class. They can also write a paragraph about what the story was about. And then last but not least, we will be teaching our inferential skills, which is where it is we ask students to read in between the lines, get that underlying meaning of what the writer is actually trying to get you to understand. Most importantly, with our action plan, we ask our teachers and students to make it fun, make it appropriate, make it be able to show and have students actually interested in what it is they are doing, so that they do not get unmotivated or think that school is boring. Our findings. After doing our project or our plan for 3 months, we realized at the end of the term, the students better understood what they were reading. The students we had a boost in class participation, and we also had improvements in scores in other curricular areas. These are just some of the simple findings that we were able to achieve within our 3-month period. So what's next? What's next is that we continue with the program at Blossom Girls Primary. We add new books, we add new criteria so that they are able to develop their reading skills as well as their comprehension skills so that they better understand. This not only helps them from the primary school level, but it will also help them at the secondary level and also for their future endeavors. The success for Blossom Girls Primary School will now rise, which means that the school will be a gravitation for new parents because of our success rates. At this point in time, I would like to thank you for listening and taking time to hear my presentation, and I'm free to answer if it is you have any questions. I would also like to take this opportunity to say a special thanks to all the people who made and realized this was an issue within the establishment. I would also like to say special thanks to family and friends who supported and made sure this was seen to the end.